Welcome to this video. Everyone has a story to tell and why you should tell yours. This is Bill Moist, and I heard a really moving story this morning. I won't get into all the details, but I'll describe a little bit about the story I heard a man told of his life, and then I'll tell you why you should tell your story. So the gentleman I heard speak at a breakfast this morning was very successful, came from a very successful family in Oklahoma. Became an attorney, an investment banker in Wall Street, made millions of dollars. Was living in a $2 million house in Dallas, and he decided that he wanted to buy several businesses that were for sale in Oklahoma. And so he went and got a loan approved at the bank. And when he was filling out the paperwork, he realized that his financial statement wasn't quite strong enough. So he went in and manipulated it so he would meet the bank's requirements to get the loan. Good news was he got the loan. The bad news was he was investigated for bank fraud and was found guilty, sentenced to 32 months in prison. And the ordeal before that, the Fed seized all his assets. He and his wife lived in a $2 million house in a really high-end neighborhood in Dallas. His payment was $7,500 a month. He literally couldn't buy a carton of milk. And so he spent 32 months in jail. But the wonderful part of the story was his wife stood by him the entire time, and his dog. And then 32 months later, she came and picked him up with the dog again. But his daughters haven't talked to him for 14 years. He brought so much shame to his family. And in the local paper up there, his story appeared 14 times on the front page. He was a disgrace of the community. The good news is, though, while he was in prison, he helped a dozen men get their GEDs. He met some really good people in prison. He put on a class about investment banking, and the jailers came to it, and he got a chance to educate. And but during his stay there in the prison, one day he was standing in the shower, and he felt the forgiveness of God. Felt the forgiveness of God just pour over him, and it changed his heart, changed his life. So. And so today it's been quite a struggle, but he's back in the investment banking world, mergers and acquisition, and making good money, and got a great deal pending. But he has to disclose to everyone, you're dealing with a felon. That's the first thing he's got to tell people. So, that's a pretty powerful story. Most of us don't go to jail, although, I have 4 friends who were convicted of white-collar crimes, and they went to prison. And the thing I know, if the government ever has their sights on you, you can't fight them. No matter how good your case appears to be, you can't fight them. They'll eventually win. So, but the point of my story was this is a powerful story, a very moving story. But each and every one of us has a story. Okay? I won't tell you my story, but I've been a millionaire twice, and I'm working on it the 3rd time. There's a story there, and I'll tell that at some point in the future. But you have a story, and guess what? There's people who need to hear your story. Even if it isn't as dramatic as going to jail for 30 to 34 months, you still have a story to tell. And there'll be people that'll resonate with it, go, that's me. I need what that person has. So as a marketer, I'm a marketer. I'd assume you probably are too. Guess what? That story is powerful in bringing people, attracting people to yourself. No matter how much shame your story might have, life is still full of choices, and we all make good and bad choices. So this particular video really ties into the earlier video I did, which really talked about permission-based marketing on Facebook, and I'll give you the link to that video after at the end of this video at the very bottom. This is Bill Moist. Again, everyone has a story to tell, and why you should tell yours is our topic today. And you can find out more about me at Bill Moist.